Okay, I'm back. Oh, I gotta turn that fan off. Okay, now to the video. I came down to San Diego because my grandmother had passed away. Her 20 plus year boyfriend he bought my grandma's house, but he needed somebody to live with him, and so I came down to take care of him and what have you. When he passed away, he was a very rich man and drove a raggedy car on several property, what have you. And all of it was sold to, and all the money went to, it's called the Kidman Educational Foundation. It wasn't a loan, it's money that would give deserving kids towards college that they do not have to pay back. Okay, the lawyer did give me time to get out. There was some relatives got mad, they felt that he should have left me grandma's house. Like I told the lawyer, he couldn't give me what I wanted, and that was him to be back alive, call me his 911 girl. Anyways, back to the subject. I rented a room, because first of all, I was what you call a CNA, which is a fancy title to butt wiper. I only made, at the time I was making 12, which for San Diego is good. And I was one of her first renters. I had called Cox out, had internet put in, and stuff. That became a problem because as other tenants moved in, Cox considered it one address, but they told me I could put TVs in all the rooms. It would just be a one-time 30-some there. So I told people, some of the landlord paid, and some of the other tenants, as they moved in, they would pay, and I had them come out. Well, she was giving me $50 discount because I was paying all the cable bill, and it worked out fine. Well, one day I get paid, I get my gas money, and I go and I bought some clothes, not much, and went to pay my rent for the manager to tell me I had to pay the full thing. Well, I argued with her, but I went ahead and paid it. I had to call up my brother for loan money so I could have gas to get back and forth to work. And the landlord calls me because I got mad, and I says, well, I'm just going to give you my 30-day notice or whatever. She called me up, and I says, well, I tell you what, since you want to, I am not going to pay cable bill for all your tenants to have free cable. So we got a choice here. It's either I'm going to turn off everybody's cable, call the cable company, have them unhook everybody's TV around here, and that's that. I says, I would prefer you to go down with me. I'll close out my account. You put it in your name. She didn't like that much. She tried first to send her manager to ask for the receipt back. Excuse me. I said, no, I'm not giving it to you. She gave me, she pissed me off is what she did, a notice to vacate the property. Why she did that when I gave a 30-day notice, I will never know. But I says, well, she wants to play that game, I can too. And we went to go to court. Her lawyer wanted to know what evidence I had. I basically told him, no, this is the law. At that time, I couldn't find my receipt. And he goes, well, he was trying to make a deal with me, basically. And I says, I'm not making any deal. I'll see you in court. He goes, well, I've never lost a case. I says, well, we'll just see what the judge says. Well, he lost a case that day. I brought up the fact that there was a new law put out, and since I've been there for a couple of years by this time, she had to give me a 60-day written notice as we required by law. I brought this out in court. Her manager, when he testified I never failed to pay rent, and that yes, she did pay that I did pay the cable bill, and that the landlord did give me a discount, but had changed her mind without notice. And I went to say something, but the judge says, well, you're way ahead here, so I wouldn't say nothing. So I went like this, and I didn't say another word. And when she went to give her verdict, she says, you'll have to start this all over because she is correct. You have to give her 60-day written notice if you want her out. You don't have legal reasons to get her out. I'm dismissing your case. You cannot evict her. Well, she was pretty pissed off that. I was a little smirky. And she came up to my door, tried to offer me $500 to move out that night. I should have took it. But I looked at her and I said, you know, I had given you a 30-day notice already. So why you felt it necessary to take me to court is beyond me. And I had found a place, and I was supposed to move into it like on the 1st at this woman's home. I had given her the deposit. And the rent was supposed to start on the 1st. Well, I was packing up my stuff. I was calling her till I coming over. She wanted basically double payment. And I says, no, I've already paid you the deposit, first month's rent, and I'm to move in on the 1st. And I'm not going to pay you double rent for the same month. So I did move in, and it did cause me to be homeless. I rented a storage place to stick my stuff in, and basically that's how I became homeless. At first I didn't really, well, I didn't like being homeless, but I figured, well, you know, it's temporary. All I gotta do is find another place. Unfortunately, I don't know who or why they wanted to be vindictive, but basically told my boss, oh, I am using the whimsical, now she didn't send this to me like she did others, I bought this. What was I saying? I was not aware that the other workers, co-workers knew I was homeless. How I found out is when a patient mentioned it to me. Guest management couldn't deal with that. And there became an they were looking, and we had a patient who kept, I worked the night shift, ringing the bell. I mean, every 2 minutes I go in there, oh, I'm not feeling good, I want to talk to the nurse. I take her vitals, I go tell the nurse. This was going on every 5 minutes, all night long. And it wasn't till last rounds that the nurse finally went in there. She went back, they did ship her to the hospital, and it was pretty serious. I can't discuss patient's name or what it was because of the confidentiality. All I can tell you, it wasn't good. And yes, she did survive. But she also complained. And she complained to this, my mistake was, I did chart in there, my chart, when I charted, that she had rang the bell, had asked to see the nurse, you know, patient rang bell, asked to see nurse, reported to nurse. My error was, I should have put how many times I went down there, because the charge nurse denied what I was saying, claimed that I only said something to him on last rounds. See, they have to sign it. Well, he couldn't deny signing it, but he didn't want to lose his job. And it's easier to replace the CNA than it is an LVN or RN. You know, it just is. So that ended that, and I was living, so out here I was homeless, living in my car, and I remained homeless for 5 years, and I will get into this in other videos, because I am doing this as a segment, it's just too long. A lot happened, and I've been putting it in sections. But I did hang around at first down Chula Vista Marine down there, and it was nicer than other places. There were other homeless people, like living in mobile homes or a camper, And let me tell you, just so you know, if you see a camper or motorhome that looks kind of old, what you got there is either senior citizens or handicapped people who don't have enough money to rent any place. So that's why they're living in there. The next segment, because it's not going to be in chronicle order, that is segment order, I'm going to talk to you about how hygiene issues played out in the street. How did I keep my hygiene up? What my first days being homeless were like. So, like I said, this is just kind of a short video. Now, I will answer this question. Yeah, my family knew I was homeless. I really didn't see much help from them. I was born female, and my mother favors her sons, because if it would have been my brother, my mother would open up her home and says, you stay with me till you get on your feet, or whatever. She was not going to do that to me. I was born, I committed a major sin. I was born female. And my father and I, well, I call him the sperm donor, weren't having anything to do with each other. I hadn't had anything to do with each other for a number of years. I didn't talk to him for over 20 years. When he passed, and I don't know why my family bothered even to tell me, because he made his choice. His wife got what she wanted, and that was to destroy my and my father's relationship. She didn't like it much when she did, but I had disowned him. I just stopped talking to him, wouldn't take calls. So when I was informed of his death, my answer was, I did not cry, I didn't form a tear. I just said, tell somebody who gives a crap, because I don't. However, when my stepfather, who really was my dad, when he passed away, I did cry over him. There were some people, there was a relative who helped me with what they could, and that's going to be coming up in a later video. Because if I try to put it all in one video, it would be hours long. My video would not only tell you my story, but I'll also be discussing other people's stories and how they're. So, as far as how people become homeless, person lost their job, drug uses, some people do a lot. You know, the hard reality is most people in the street who are homeless have got drug problems, or drug addicts, or alcoholics. I don't think, when I first got home, I think I was the only one I met that actually had a job. My landlord, he rents through this organization that deals with the homeless. Well, let me tell you, they come here, they get their rent paid for a year, or they do nothing about finding work. They stay here till their time is up, then they're back out in the street. So I have a tendency not to feel sorry for a lot of homeless people. I am going to tell you this in this video. Do not give homeless people money. More than likely, it will go for drugs or alcohol. They will not buy food with it. I only know one girl who did. She was in a wheelchair. She did bum month panhandle. And she did use it for food because she was 86th from this grocery store that she panhandled behind. And it was not uncommon for me to, she'd give me the money and I go, she'd tell me what she want and I go get it, bring her back, bring any change back, bring her the receipt. But most of them, and no, I really didn't hang out with other homeless people. And I will get into that in another segment. I will be discussing what I did when it rained, what other homeless people did when it rained. And some of you may be wondering, why didn't I go to a shelter? The problem with shelters is they won't let you bring all your stuff, number one. They didn't have a place to park your car. And if you ask me, it's more dangerous than the street. Should I say that now, this video or another one? Oh yeah, a few years back, there was a serial killer preying on the homeless. Not all of them died. He would sneak up on them while they were sleeping, and they would set him on fire. The mayor, being a hypocrite, came on the news saying how homeless people were vulnerable, da-da-da-da-da. Now, the time this happened, I was no longer on the street. That guy eventually got caught, but it wasn't because of San Diego, the police department. He actually got busted in the act by the harbor people, harbor police. He served no time. Hell, he didn't even go to trial. He said, well, he was homeless himself, and he was just preying on the homeless. What the cops did is he tried to tell the homeless people, don't sleep by yourself, sleep in a group. I said right then, if the police did catch him, the homeless people will catch him, and God help him if they find out who he is and they gang up on him. There is no doubt in my mind if the harbor police hadn't caught him, and the homeless found out, they would have took care of it themselves. The street could be violent. It's just a certain way. And I'll just give you a kind of general line of things I'll be discussing. I will tell you about some stories, some that I knew that pertain to, that I knew a personal account. But I'll give you one right now. There was an elderly gentleman. He lived in a motorhome, served in the service. He fought Vietnam War. He actually served our country all his life. That's what he did. He retired from the service. He had been homeless for 20 years that I know of. When I tried to tell him there was a way to get him off the street, when I was able to get off, he refused, didn't want nothing to do with it. He had just been homeless so long. That's kind of what he came to know. And he wouldn't. He had emphysema like I do. He died homeless, basically. That was my little Bob. When I found out about it, see, I wasn't homeless anymore. I was really, really upset. I mean, I missed his funeral. I missed it all. To answer your question, that time when I was homeless for about 5 years. I don't keep in contact with any of them that I knew. It's just a part of my life I like to kind of forget. I don't need people to remind me. To be honest, they were people I would not associate with today. So you're wondering, you would think after 5 years of this, being homeless before I found a home, I'd be more sympathetic towards homeless people, and I am, but I'm also realistic. And anyways, that's just an idea of what I will be discussing in future videos. Tomorrow will be an unboxing, because it's supposed to be coming today. I was going to do this video tomorrow, but it hasn't gotten here, but it's supposed to be here tonight, so I'll actually probably do the video tonight, post it tomorrow. I do have a Facebook group, and the link somehow doesn't want to work, but if you go to Facebook groups and put in the search for Diamond Painting Dreamer, it's pretty easy to find out. It pops right up. I do allow you to put your videos on there. If you have a shop, Etsy shop or something like that, you can post items there that you're selling. I just don't allow you to discuss money, but you can post your links to your store. I just ask when you post videos, don't go crazy about it, but you're more than welcome to. I only just one person's video. She left the group. I am not going to discuss that because I don't believe in it. But I did borrow from the group after she left, as well as my YouTube. Okay. I also